Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the studio. You are tuning in to episode 3 of Module 5 of the Blueprint for Effortless English. I am your co-host, Ben.
And I am Anna. Welcome back, everyone. We are moving right along through our 5th and final module, the Master Builder. You guys are doing an incredible job navigating the absolute highest tiers of English fluency.
In our first 2 episodes of this module, we pushed you outside of your comfort zone. We taught you the modern slang and idioms that native speakers use every day, and then we decoded the complex, often confusing world of English sarcasm, understatement, and self-deprecating humor.
You are learning how to read between the lines and understand the invisible emotional tone of a conversation. But today, we have to talk about how that invisible tone completely changes depending on where you are standing on the map.
Exactly. English is a global language, but the English spoken in Denver, Colorado is culturally very different from the English spoken in London, Sydney, or Johannesburg. Today, we are diving into episode 3, Cultural Nuance in Speech.
Before we unlock the cultural secrets of the English-speaking world, we have our usual quick favor to ask. If you are serious about achieving intuitive fluency and you want to support this 50-episode journey, please hit that like button and subscribe to the English Chatcast channel.
Your support helps us keep this course free and accessible to ambitious professionals all over the globe. We literally could not do this without you. Thank you so much for being part of our community.
So let us talk about culture shock, Ben. When I was growing up in California, I was constantly switching between English and Spanish at school. I learned very early on that fluency is not just about translating vocabulary words. It is about translating your entire personality to fit the cultural expectations of the language.
That is such a crucial point. If you take an American communication style and use it in a British office, you are going to sound completely inappropriate. And if you take a British communication style and use it in an American office, people will think you are angry or depressed.
It is the trap of the monolithic language. English learners often assume there is only one correct way to act when speaking English, but native English speakers operate on completely different cultural baselines.
Today, we are going to break down those cultural baselines so you can seamlessly adapt your English to fit any international room. We are focusing primarily on the 2 massive titans of the English language, the United States and the United Kingdom.
We are breaking this down into 4 specific pillars. Pillar number 1 is the enthusiasm baseline. Pillar number 2 is the peach versus the coconut. Pillar number 3 is decoding the words interesting and fine. And pillar number 4 is conversational overlap.
Let us start with pillar number 1, the enthusiasm baseline. This is the very first thing international professionals notice when they come to the United States. Americans are loud, heavily expressive, and constantly enthusiastic.
We really are. The baseline emotion for a casual American interaction is extreme positivity. If you ask an American how their weekend was, they will not just say it was good. They will say, "Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We had the absolute best time."
We use massive adjectives for very minor things. If a coworker brings donuts to the office, an American will say, "Wow, this donut is incredible. It is life-changing."
But in the United Kingdom and in many other parts of the world, that level of enthusiasm is actually viewed with deep suspicion. To a British person, if everything is amazing and life-changing, then nothing is actually amazing. Extreme enthusiasm sounds fake and insincere to them.
The British enthusiasm baseline is much lower and much more realistic. If a British person has an absolutely fantastic weekend, they will probably just nod and say, "Yes, it was not bad at all."
Not bad is the highest form of British praise. If you do a brilliant presentation and your British boss says, "Well done, that was not bad," you should be celebrating. That means it was spectacular.
But if you give an American boss that same presentation and they say it was not bad, you need to update your resume because you are probably going to get fired. In America, not bad means it was actually terrible and we are just trying to be polite.
You have to calibrate your adjectives. When you are speaking with Americans, turn your enthusiasm up by 20%. Smile more. Use words like awesome, great, and fantastic. When you are speaking with British colleagues, dial it down. Stick to words like quite good, decent, and not bad.
Which brings us perfectly to pillar number 2, the peach versus the coconut. This is a famous psychological model used to describe how different cultures handle friendship, small talk, and personal boundaries.
American culture is a peach culture. Think about a peach. It is soft, fuzzy, and sweet on the outside. Americans are incredibly friendly to total strangers. We smile at people on the street, we tell our life story to the cashier at the grocery store, and we invite new coworkers to lunch on their first day.
To someone from a more reserved culture, this extreme outward friendliness looks like an invitation to a deep, lifelong friendship, but it is not.
Because inside the peach is a very hard pit. Americans are easy to meet, but actually very difficult to truly know. We keep our deep, personal struggles heavily protected. We will happily chat with you about our new car for an hour, but we will not tell you about our family problems.
British culture, along with many Northern European cultures, is a coconut culture. A coconut has a very hard, tough shell on the outside.
British people do not usually smile at strangers on the train. They do not tell their life story to the cashier. In an office setting, they might seem a bit cold, distant, or overly formal when you first meet them.
But if you invest the time to crack the shell of the coconut, the inside is sweet and soft. Once you become true friends with a British person, that friendship is incredibly deep and loyal. They will share everything with you.
As an English learner, you have to understand which fruit you are dealing with. If you move to Colorado and Ben smiles at you and asks about your dog, do not assume you are his best friend. He is just being a peach. He expects polite, surface-level small talk.
And if you move to London and your coworkers do not immediately invite you to their houses for dinner, do not take it personally. They are coconuts. You just need to put in the time to earn their trust slowly.
Now, let us move to pillar number 3, decoding the words interesting and fine. Because different cultures value directness differently, simple vocabulary words take on completely opposite meanings depending on who is speaking.
Let us talk about the word interesting. In American corporate culture, if you pitch a new idea to your boss and they say, "Wow, that is an interesting concept," they usually mean exactly what they are saying. They are genuinely intrigued and they want to hear more.
But in British corporate culture, interesting is a highly dangerous word. British professionals value politeness and indirectness above almost everything else. They absolutely hate open conflict.
So if you pitch a terrible idea to a British boss, they will never look at you and say, "That is a terrible idea." They will look at you, pause, and say, well, that is a very interesting approach."
In British English, "that is a very interesting approach" usually means "that is the most stupid idea I have ever heard, and we are absolutely not doing it."
If you take it literally, you will keep talking and making a fool of yourself. You have to read the cultural subtext.
The exact same thing happens with the word fine. In the United Kingdom, if someone asks how you are doing and you say, I am fine, it just means you are doing okay. It is a neutral, polite response.
But in the United States, because our baseline enthusiasm is so high, answering with the word fine is a massive red flag. If Anna asks me how my weekend was, and I sigh and say, it was fine, Anna will immediately stop what she is doing.
I will instantly know that something is wrong. I will say, oh no, what happened? Because in America, fine actually means terrible. If it was actually a good weekend, he would have said it was great.
If you use the word fine with Americans, you will accidentally cause them to worry about you. Always upgrade to good or great if you want to keep the conversation moving smoothly.
Let us shift gears to our final pillar today. Pillar number 4, conversational overlap. This is all about the physical rhythm of how people talk to each other, and it causes a massive amount of friction in international business.
In British culture and in many professional settings globally, conversation works like a game of tennis. One person speaks, they finish their thought, there is a brief pause, and then the other person speaks. It is sequential turn-taking.
If you interrupt a British person while they are speaking, it is considered highly rude and aggressive. You are stealing their turn.
But in many regions of the United States, particularly in the Northeast and on the West Coast, conversation does not work like tennis. It works like a jazz band. We use something called cooperative overlap.
Cooperative overlap means we talk at the exact same time as the other person to show that we are engaged and excited. While Ben is telling a story, I will constantly be throwing in words like, yeah, totally, absolutely, oh my gosh, I know.
And I do not stop talking when she does that. I talk louder to maintain my story while she throws her energy into the mix. We are building the conversation together simultaneously.
To a British person, an American cooperative overlap feels like a constant, aggressive attack. They feel like they cannot get a single word in edgewise. They will just stop talking completely and wait for the American to finish.
And to an American, the British style of waiting for a full pause feels cold and disengaged. If I am telling a story and Anna just stares at me in total silence until I finish, I am going to think she is bored out of her mind.
You have to adapt your rhythm to the room. If you are dealing with Americans, you have to be slightly more aggressive with your timing. You have to jump in and show verbal agreement. If you are dealing with British or European clients, you have to embrace the silence and let them finish their turn.
Let us put all of these cultural differences into perspective with a master role play. Anna and I are going to simulate 2 different versions of the exact same business interaction.
We are going to pretend we are coworkers discussing a new marketing plan. In the first version, we are going to use the American cultural baseline: high enthusiasm, cooperative overlap, and direct positivity.
Here we go. Step into the American office.
Hey, Ben, I finally finished the draft for the new social media campaign. Did you get a chance to look at it yet?
Oh my gosh, yes! I read it this morning and it is absolutely incredible. Seriously, I think it is the best copy we have written all year.
Awesome! I am so glad you liked it. I was a little worried about the color scheme on the second page, though. Do you think it is too bright?
Honestly, totally get what you are saying, but I actually love it. I think it really pops. It is exactly what the client asked for.
Perfect. Well, I will go ahead and send it over to the management team right now.
Sounds fantastic. Great work on this, Anna.
And scene. That was a textbook American interaction.
We used massive adjectives. Incredible, awesome, fantastic.
I jumped in right as Anna was finishing her sentence to show my agreement. It was warm, fuzzy, and fast-paced. A true peach interaction.
Now, let us rewind and do version 2. We are going to have the exact same conversation, but we are going to use the British cultural baseline.
Right, I see your point.
Hello, Ben. I have just finished the draft for the new social media campaign. Have you had a moment to review it?
Yes, I had a look through it this morning. It is not bad at all. Actually, it is quite good.
Thank you. I am pleased to hear that. I was slightly concerned about the color scheme on the second page. Would you say it is a bit too bright?
Well, it is certainly an interesting choice of colors. Perhaps we could tone down the contrast just a bit before we send it to the client, just to be safe.
Yes, that is a fair point. I will make those adjustments now and then forward it to the management team.
Brilliant. Thanks for handling that, Anna.
And scene. The difference is absolutely night and day.
It feels like two completely different languages. In the British version, I did not say it was incredible. I used the ultimate British compliment. I said, it is not bad at all.
We did not overlap our sentences once. We waited for each other to finish completely.
And when Anna asked about the colors, I did not give a direct American answer. I used British indirectness. I said, it is an interesting choice of colors, which was my polite way of saying, yes, it is way too bright and we need to fix it.
By mastering these cultural baselines, you completely remove the friction from international communication. You become a linguistic chameleon. You can seamlessly blend into a boardroom in Chicago and then jump on a Zoom call and perfectly match the tone of your colleagues in London.
It requires high-level emotional intelligence, but once you unlock it, your professional and social circles will expand massively. You will never accidentally offend someone with the wrong adjective again.
Which brings us to your mission for episode 3. It is time for you to do some cultural field research.
Your homework for this week is the Cultural Observation Challenge. We want you to watch 2 short video clips online. First, find an interview with an American celebrity or business leader. Watch it for 2 minutes.
Then, find an interview with a British celebrity or business leader. Watch that for 2 minutes.
Pay close attention to their adjectives, their volume, and how they interact with the interviewer. Are they using cooperative overlap, or are they taking polite turns? Are they using hyperbole or understatement?
Come down into the comments section of this episode and tell us what you observed. Give us one specific example of an American phrase you heard and one specific example of a British phrase. Let us see your analytical skills in action.
You guys are doing fantastic work. You are officially decoding the cultural matrix of the English language. You understand the slang, the sarcasm, and the regional politeness.
But even with all of this cultural knowledge, you are still going to encounter situations where someone uses a word you have absolutely never heard before, a highly specific industry term, or a rare piece of vocabulary.
The instinct for most learners is to panic, stop the conversation, and pull out their translation app. But native speakers do not do that. When a native speaker hears a word they do not know, they use the surrounding context to instantly deduce the meaning without missing a beat.
And that is exactly what we are covering in our next episode. In episode 4, we are diving into expanding your vocabulary via context.
We are going to teach you the advanced deductive reasoning skills that native speakers use to figure out complex words on the fly. We will show you how to look for prefix clues, tone indicators, and sentence structure to keep the conversation flowing seamlessly.
It is the ultimate survival tool for high-level conversations, and you absolutely will not want to miss it.
But for today, focus on the cultural baselines.
calibrate your enthusiasm, learn how to spot a peach and a coconut, and always be careful when someone tells you your idea is interesting.
I am Anna.
And I am Ben.
If you are ready to become a cultural chameleon and truly master the intuitive side of English, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let us keep building this effortless fluency together. Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, learning English with us is
A piece of cake. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the English Chatcast.